Welcome to our video lesson on dividing long division with multi-digit divisors. What that means is our divisor, instead of just having one digit, it has two digits. The good thing is it's the exact same steps as just long division. So these are the same as the ones we looked at yesterday. The only difference is that this number is bigger, so it makes it a little bit harder. To start, make sure you've written down these steps, and then you're going to write this example with me. So we have 1,826, and it is going to be divided by 22. So remember, the first number goes inside our division sign. All right, the hint that I use to help me is I find a number that's nicer to work with that is close to my divisor. So a number that's close to 22 that's nice to work with, I would use 20. So I'm going to write down, think 20, because 20 is a lot easier to work, 20 is a lot easier to work with than 22, because it has that nice zero with it. So let's think, how many times can 20 go into 1? None. How many times can 20 go into 18? None. How many times can 20 go into 182? Well, I know that 20 times 9 is 180. So let's try 22 times 9 and see if that works. So 9 times 2 is 18. And then again, 2 times 9 is 18 plus 1 is 19. So we get 198. Now let's look back at our question. We're trying to figure out how many times 22 goes into 182. Well, 198 is too big. So let's decrease it by 1. So we now have 22 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16, and 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. 176 is going to work. So I know my answer is 8. So I'll write the 8 up here. Again, make sure you line up everything very carefully. That's where a lot of people make mistakes. So now I have 176 down here, and I'm going to do my subtraction. So now get rid of that 8, make it a 7. 12 minus 6 is 6. And now I bring it down. We'll check first. Check, is my 6 smaller than my 22? Yes. So we're okay. We don't need to do anything else. And now I bring it down. So now I'm going to bring down my 6. How many times can 22 go into 66? Well, I can do that in my head. I know it's 3, but let's check it to be sure. 22 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Oh, whoa, that's weird. 3 times 2, let's try that again, is 6. And 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to put my 3 up here and know that 3 times 22 is 66. Subtraction, get a remainder of 0. So that means my answer is 83. Let's do a different example that's a little bit harder. Now we have 6,384 divided by 32. Our first step is to write it out. So we have 6,384 divided by 32. Now, for this one, what number is close to 32 that's a little bit nicer to work with? So for this one, I'm going to think 30, because 30 is a lot nicer to work with than 32, and I can do 30 in my head. How many times can 30 go into 6? None. How many times can 30 go into 63? Well, I know that 30 times 2 is 60. So let's see what 32 times 2 is. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. So unfortunately, it's just a little bit too big. We have 64, and we need it to be smaller than 63. So that means it must be 32 times 1. And 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 is 3. So I'm going to subtract it. 3 minus 2 is 1. 6 minus 3 is 3. Now I'm going to check to make sure this number down here is smaller than our divisor. And 31 is smaller than 32, so now I can bring down the 8. Now I need to think, how many times can 32 go into 318? But I'm going to think 30. Okay, how many times can 30 go into 318? Well, I think it would be 9, because 30 times 10 would be 300, but I'm not going to be able to write 10 up at the top. That would be too big of a number. So let's try 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. So let's try that. 32 times 9 is 288. I'm going to do the subtraction. 8 minus 8 is 0. 1 minus 8 I can't do, so I need to borrow from the 3, make it a 2. This becomes 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. So now we need to do our check. It's really important. In this situation, 30 is less than 32, so I'm okay to bring down our last number, which is the 4. Well, again, we have something that's over 300, and we know that 32 times 9 is 288, and you know what? I think it's going to be the same. So we're going to put another 9 up here, and I know that 9 times 32 is 288. I'm going to do the subtraction. 4 minus 8 I can't do, so I need to borrow, but I can't borrow from the 0, so I'm going to borrow from this 3, make it a 2, and then this 0 becomes 10, but I need to borrow from it as well, so I'm going to cross it out and put a 9, and then this 4 becomes a 14. Well, 14 minus 8 is 6, and 9 minus 8 is 1. If you know how to do the decimal way and write your quotient or your division answer as a decimal, you could keep going. For now, we're just going to write remainder 16. If you wanted to do the decimal way, you'd get a really nice answer with a decimal here, though. That's all for now. If you need to rewatch any part of this video, please feel free to rewind or fast forward and find where you need to rewatch and rewatch it. Okay, I'll talk to you later.